One of the main purposes of the dialog tree data structure is storage. They store dialogue or conversations so that the user can make multiple choices. There can be few choices or many choices, but either way, different choices often lead to different outcomes. It is possible, however, for the paths to cross later down the line. These trees basically allow the user to choose their fate when they may or may not know what lies ahead. A good example of how these dialog trees look and function is one that was made at Brick Street here in Oxford. In this example, the choices are related to different options and events that Brick Street offers. It starts off with, "Do you like to have fun?" and then splits off into several different possible responses and questions that can lead to different outcomes. This is also a good example of a tree that has an outcome that the user is unaware of until they reach that point, and is used in a way to advertise Brick Street. So to show how it works, I'll traverse through the tree. I like to have fun, so I will choose the yes when the night is right option, although I wish I could choose the yes every night's a party option. From here I would select yes for are you single and no for do you like boys. Brick Street wants me to go to ladies night every Thursday with DJ Jackson. Another purpose of dialog trees is the concept of interaction. Dialog trees have been considered to be one of the earliest forms of AI. Even though they're not actually a form of AI, the interaction between the user and the computer with dialog trees gives the look and feel of it. Dialog trees can also make users really think about what they're doing. It doesn't take long to find out that the choices being made impact the outcome that the user ends up with, and with a goal in mind, the user must interact correctly to achieve it. Design is also an important purpose of dialog trees. It is possible to analyze how people move through the tree. With this information, imperfections could be revealed, such as bad wording, and could be used to change or add more options for the user to pick from. The information could be used strategically to give some options more weight or importance for some situations. It is also possible that this information could be used to make predictions based on patterns that have been found when people react to each new part of the dialog tree.
The structure or mechanics of the dialog tree contain most things that binary search trees have. They have a root, which is placed at the beginning of games. Normally this is for an introduction to the game, character customization, or setting the scene and background. They also contain nodes, and nodes are strings that prompt the user input. They can be questions or statements and require a response for traversal. The children are based on the node. Commonly in role-playing games there will be 2 to 4 children per node. They can range from true to false yes-no questions to information regarding tasks, or as seen in Mass Effect, you can have the dialogue wheel which has yes, no, or neutral responses. The traversal is all the way up to the end game as you interact with your NPC and allies. An example of this is shown below, typically found in a quest game that requires you to respond yes to get the reward. The earliest form of the dialog tree can be found in the Garden of Forking Paths, an intricate novel that constructed a labyrinth in time. By choosing one path you will eliminate several others. Therefore, an enemy in one of your paths from one decision could reappear had you made another choice as a friend. All major outcomes from an event branch into their own chapters. As the outcomes draw near, the complexity of this dialog tree becomes big O to the n raised to the m power, with n being the number of children and m being the depth of the dialog tree.
A more complex example of an application of dialog trees is the popular series of games known as Mario Party. I'm sure many of you have played or at least heard of this series that has been available for several generations of Nintendo gaming consoles. These games are very reliant on their dialog trees because there are many occurrences where the player is prompted with yes or no questions. Occasionally, the players are given several options such as different items that can be purchased. All these choices and decisions are crucial in order to win the game.
Did we have an appointment? No. It was a delivery? I can't remember.
Shown here is the game Skyrim. This is a new game that just came out for Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3, and it utilizes some of the most complex data structures today, including the dialog tree. As seen here, the NPC is interacting with the character to give them information regarding a task that he or she must complete to advance further in the game. Dialog tree is something the vast majority of this class has come across, whether you stumbled upon it, saw something on Reddit, or played a video game that utilized some form of a dialog tree. The dialog tree is one of the most popular out there today because the computer cannot yet think for itself. Thank you all for watching this video. Hopefully it has been informative.